So when I was 20 years old, I was a drunk stoner who watched porn, was playing video games, and failing college classes with no plan for his life. Now at 27, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. I have a career that's going really well, and I'm pursuing excellence in every area of my life. And in this video, we're gonna go over 9 habits that made this transformation possible that you can apply in your life as well. Number 1 is nofap. I'll be honest, guys, this is not a subject I like to talk about online anymore. I used to make videos on it, but it's something I've beaten for a while. It feels like at this point, it's just this trendy thing for people to talk about to try and get views online. And real talk, who wants to tell their friends, family, girls they meet, whatever, that they have a YouTube channel talking about quitting porn? It's just like, it's not a cool subject, to be honest. But I would be lying to you if I didn't talk about how valuable nofap was to me changing my life. The amount of confidence you get when you don't have this dark cloud kind of hovering over you of the guilt and shame of just watching porn and things like that. And when I was in my early 20s, in fact, I think I was 20 years old, I was trying to lose my virginity with a girl, and I realized that I had porn-induced ED. So this was something that was genuinely causing serious harm to my life. I felt very embarrassed of myself for doing it, and now it was causing physical issues and harming my ability to have a relationship with women. But when that happened, I quit cold turkey. It's like, I can't be doing this. Like, it was enough of a shock to make me realize, like, dude, you can't be watching porn. Like, what is this, you know? I knew in my gut that it was probably not something I should be doing, but now I had just verifiable evidence that this was causing a huge problem in my life. And occasionally I would go back to struggling with it for like mini bouts every now and then, but at this point it's something I've completely eradicated from my life. And like I said, the confidence you get from this, the amount of energy, I feel so alive. I want to go out and talk to real women in a way that most guys who are constantly watching porn just don't relate to. It's just so easy to sit in your room and watch porn instead of going out and talking to women. It's very hard to feel like the man when you're watching porn. So when you give this up, it's going to be a complete game changer for your life. You're going to get so much done. You're going to feel like you deserve success because you're not doing this bad habit that is so easy to do. I mean, it's literally one click away on your phone at any given time. 99% of men have completely given into it, but you're that 1% man who's refusing to let porn control his life. Number 2, diet. Starting in my early 20s, I realized that I needed to take my diet seriously. I had already been exercising and I really enjoyed weightlifting, but if I wanted the results that I really wanted, which was like a 6-pack and being genuinely jacked instead of just kind of muscular, I had to take my diet seriously. And progressively over my 20s, I've gotten better and better at diet. And each time I've gotten better at diet, it has improved every area of my life, like full stop. My productivity, my confidence, my focus, my energy levels, they all go up. My physique looks better. My skin will look better. I'll have a lower body fat percentage, which makes my face look better. This is one of these things that's just an absolute no-brainer habit for you to start following in your life. And if you're wondering, what does it mean to eat healthy? What is my diet? Some of the key things that I've really been applying have been just reducing carbs. The more I lower my carb count, the better I feel. At this point, 90% of my diet is steak, eggs, and ground beef. I'm big on tracking your calories, knowing what you're eating, because this will allow you to be more consistent. So if you want to gain muscle, you eat more food. If you want to lose fat, then you're going to eat a little bit of less food. I also focus more on food quality now than I ever have in the past, and I feel significantly better. When I eat fruit, it's organic. I avoid seed oils as much as possible. Really, even when I do have carbs, I keep the gluten out of my diet for the most part. What you put in your body is going to impact everything about you. It is literally the fuel source, the way your mind functions, your confidence, your sex drive, your attractiveness. It all comes back to what you're eating. Number 3, sobriety. This is a habit that has had no downsides to me. The only thing that you could even think of as a downside was that it kind of ruined my friend group when I stopped drinking and stopped smoking because I really didn't have much in common with them anymore. But I would actually tell you that was a huge positive because I improved my social life. I have better quality friendships with people who are aligned with my future and my goals and my values, as opposed to people that I basically got drunk and wasted my life with. So I improved my social life when I stopped doing this. I became significantly more productive. I'm much healthier now. I think the fact that alcohol is normalized in our society is such a bizarre thing. You could make a case that alcohol is worse for you than just about anything else. 50% of murders are caused by alcohol. Drunk driving kills people all the time. It destroys your health. You're much less productive. Friendships are ruined by it. Relationships, marriages get destroyed by alcohol. Alcohol is this extremely destructive force. I mean, I should have genuinely gotten like 3 or 4 DUIs when I was in my early 20s, late teens. Luckily, I didn't. I'm not proud of that, but truthfully, I was a menace menace on alcohol. It was terrible. And I've got friends who've had their lives destroyed by it. They've got family members in AA. They've got family members who had to go to rehab. It's a horrible thing. And getting on this habit young, preferably in your 20s, is going to have a huge impact on the direction of your life. Drinking's also terrible for your hormones. It lowers your testosterone levels. It makes you fatter. You have less energy. It's just like, cut it out. Seriously, get on the habit of sobriety. I'm so glad that our generation is the first one where it seems like sobriety is starting to get a bit more trendy. Everybody's kind of looking at the alcohol thing and they're like, yo, this is so expensive. It's terrible for my health. Like, I just don't want to do it. And I'm so glad that that's the way things are going. Habit number 4, metacognition. I was introduced to the term metacognition from my friend Kenny, who some of you guys might watch on YouTube. I'm not sure if Kenny's the one who came up with the concept, but whatever the case, I thought it was really applicable, and I realized it was something I was doing in my life, and it's a great term to describe it. So what is metacognition? Metacognition is essentially your own awareness of the thoughts you're thinking and the stories you're telling yourself about your life. And developing the habit of this awareness allows you to make changes to your life. What most people do is they basically run the same programs they were taught as children. Their parents told them how to act in this situation. Their teacher said this, their pastor said this, whatever. They had certain role models, and they kind of just follow those patterns throughout their daily lives, for better or for worse. This is why children who grow up in poverty usually don't escape poverty. Children in the middle class usually stay middle class. If you see a family out at a restaurant, they almost all have the same body fat percentage. It's just like clockwork. But metacognition allows you to recognize these stories and these thoughts and make changes so you can consciously control the direction of your life. Without metacognition, I would probably be married with kids, overweight, and with no plan for my life right now. Genuinely, I mean, it would be a disaster. I'm so grateful that I developed self-awareness and started to notice like the patterns and the direction my life was heading in, and realized like, that's not where I want to go. I did not come up with those ideas. I'm moving in that direction because that's what other people told me to do. What do I actually want to do with my life? Now, some of the keys to developing this metacognition are mindfulness meditation, journaling, as well as therapy was a really big one for me. To sum this all up, if you can get in the habit of being aware of what you're thinking and making sure that you're thinking clearly, rationally, and going in the direction you want with your life as opposed to the direction that everyone told you to go in. Number 5, content creation. I've been creating content on Instagram since I was like 21 years old. I've done YouTube, obviously. It's something I've been doing for a very long time consistently. It's been a habit of mine, and it's something that I think I saw coming, to be honest. I'll give myself credit for this. Whereas everybody else kind of just saw it as this fun little thing they could do, I started to notice how it was such a powerful tool for social status. Everybody cared about who got more likes. You know, I was in that first generation that got Instagram when they were in high school, and everybody would go to school and it was about who got more likes on their pictures. It meant who was more popular. It was this huge deal. I mean, it's all ridiculous when you think about it, but it's just human nature. And I started to notice it, and I realized, like, if you get the Instagram right, if you get the social media game right, it's a huge tool for boosting your social status. And as somebody who really didn't feel like he got the respect he wanted in high school, I think that created a motivation for me to become more popular, more respected, have that status. It just kind of drew me in that direction. I also began to learn about the financial opportunities through Instagram, or just social media in general, and how social media could be a great tool for attracting women as well. And obviously the content I created early on wasn't very good, but I've progressively gotten better, and this has been an amazing habit for me to have, because at this point, all the money I make is pretty much generated through content creation. My primary source of income is as a real estate agent, and the main way I get business is through posting content on Instagram. Before that, I had my YouTube channel where I had an online coaching program, a fitness coaching program. I made money doing it that way. Basically, all the big money I've made in my life has come through this habit of content creation. And I'm not saying you have to be a content creator, but at a minimum, I do think everybody in 2025 and going forward should have a social media presence that shows their best light. You got to understand, employers are going on there to see if you're somebody they should hire. Women are going to go check out your social medias to see if you have a life. I had somebody reach out to me on Instagram who wanted a job opportunity with me, but his Instagram looked so bad that I just completely ignored him, even though I told him to reach out to me. I was just like, yo, this guy looks like a child molester. I don't want him anywhere near me. And you got to understand that this perception really matters. And so I'm blessed that I saw this coming early, and at this point I'm very good at content creation, and so the habit's there and I know how to do it right. If you're somebody out there just getting started, as a simple rule, just make sure you have some quality pictures of yourself. Show that you're doing something valuable with your life and you're not just sitting around in your mom's basement. And then I want to take this and make it a little bit more general, which the general habit you can take from this isn't just content creation, it's pursuing your interests. This was something I was passionate about, I was interested in, I wanted to get better at, and now it has put me in a position where I can capitalize on it. And it's like this for anything, people will pay me for fitness advice, which was something I was just passionate about early on. You've got some skills probably in your life or things that you're interested in, and if you just get better and better and better at them, they'll start paying off for you in huge ways that you don't even understand at this point. Habit number 6, giving people what they want. When I was 20 years old, I read my first self-improvement book. It was called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the main takeaway that I got from this book was that if you want people to like you and respect you, you have to be genuinely interested in them and respect them. Meaning whatever their interests are, have some sort of interest in them as well. If they tell you about their career, ask follow-up questions, pay attention. Don't just wait for them to stop talking so you can talk about what you really want to talk about. Essentially, what you're doing in this situation is giving people what they want. People want to feel understood. They want to feel like their opinions have value, that they are respected, that they are interesting. This is why people love to talk about themselves. Everybody's favorite subject is themselves. And then I started to realize that this same principle applies to literally everything in life. If you want to get what you want in life, you have to give other people what they want. Yet 99% of people just don't understand this. They're too busy feeling entitled and thinking that everybody should capitulate to what they want to do with their life. For example, you've got some guy who shows up to an interview in a hoodie and expects to get some 6-figure job, or he hasn't put in the time to actually be really good at his craft, but he wants to get paid like he has. Or you've got guys who don't want to put in the work to make themselves attractive, but they expect women to like them anyways. Developing the habit of giving people what they want means looking at situations and saying, okay, how can I position myself, do certain things, act in a certain way that will lead to me getting the result I want because I gave this person what they want. For example, if you want to attract a woman, it would be good to understand what women want from you so you can give it to them and then they'll give you what you want. Maybe you're dealing with a woman who has a boyfriend who she's kind of out on at this point and he's not really ambitious, he's not pursuing anything, and she wants somebody who's got confidence, who's going after something in life, who's in shape, attractive, all those kinds of things. And you can fit that bill for her and she'll be interested in you. Maybe on the flip side, maybe her boyfriend's kind of a dick to her and he cheated on her and she feels like nobody respects her and loves her. And she wants somebody who kind of goes at it from the other angle, obviously who's attractive and has all those qualities still, but who actually makes her feel like she's valued and loved by somebody. And she's gonna fall all over you if you give her that. You gotta understand that everybody you deal with has wants. Your employer has wants from his employees. Your customers have wants from the product. Women have wants from the man they're gonna date. People have wants from the people they're gonna be friends with. Content creation is even like this. If I put out content that was just me saying whatever the heck I wanted to say and not thinking about what the audience on the other end would find valuable, nobody would watch it. Develop the habit of giving people what they want. Habit number 7, investing in myself. This is something that I don't understand for the life of me why people don't do. People will invest in the stock market, they'll invest in real estate, they'll invest in bonds, they'll invest in all these things, but they'll never invest in themselves. It's like they don't realize that they are their most valuable asset. And when I say invest in yourself, I mean that very broadly. I mean investing in books, courses, coaching, experiences, even things like nutrition I consider an investment in yourself. This is something I've understood for a long time. When I was 20, I bought my first online course, and although I don't even use what I learned in that course, it did set me on the right path. It was a social media marketing agency course, and I spent like $800 on it. It was Ty Lopez. He might have even been a scammer for all I freaking know. But I did learn a little bit from the course, and it taught me new things and new ideas about what was possible in life that I then went on to pursue in different routes. It was the introduction to social media there that eventually led to me connecting with somebody who taught me Instagram marketing, which I do use to this day. I'm not sure I've ever regretted investing in myself, genuinely. Experiences I've gone on, vacations that were quality. I went to Arizona earlier this year. I could have, I guess, saved the money, put it into stocks or something like that, or spent it on something silly, but I went on an experience. experience. I developed as a person from doing it. I'm very glad I went. Buying higher quality food means I feel better. Buying books instead of watching Netflix. Invest in yourself, guys. I'm telling you, it's such a powerful habit. Habit number 8, challenging myself. I've pretty much always enjoyed exercise, but over my 20s, I have gradually increased the intensity and wanted to push myself more and more. I've challenged myself to do better in basically every area of my life. It started physically, but now it's expanded into everything. At this point, it's how can I do even better on my diet? I just started boxing and I'm considering probably doing a fight later this year. I'm pushing myself hard in that. How can I work harder in my career? I'm constantly looking at ways to improve, push myself, and get better. And this brings out the best in myself. A lot of you guys have heard my story about how I lived in Houston, Texas for a while. I ended up homeless for a bit. I was sleeping in my friend's garage in the middle of the summer in Houston. It's boiling hot. Even at night, it's like 85 degrees. You can't really sleep. But I thrived in that situation. I was 16 hours away from home, didn't know how I was going to get out of the situation. I could barely sleep, but I just remember I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm locking in. And I just went harder. I felt better. It's like it calmed my mind. Developing this habit of not seeking comfort, but instead seeking challenge has been a massive game changer in my life. And I'm not saying you got to go be homeless in Houston, but just go look at your life and be like, okay, you're probably way too comfortable. I'm almost certain that if you're watching this right now, you're way too comfortable. You probably live in the Western world. You're probably doing all right in life. You should look at it and say, well, how can I push myself here? Can I just go out for a run? When was the last time I went for a run? Have I been working out hard or have I been mailing it in? Am I trying it all on my diet? When was the last time I actually worked hard in my career? When you do this, when you challenge yourself, hell, even take a cold shower. I mean, seriously, you'll feel significantly better. Every time I do these things that I really don't want to do and I push myself to go harder, I feel better. My confidence goes up. And then I know I can go even further from there because these new challenges become your baseline. At one point, it was a challenge for you to work out. Now that's natural. Now the challenge is workout plus diet. Now for me, an example, the challenge is how can I be a bodybuilder who also boxes and has an amazing diet? So I've got this crazy physical challenge and I'm planning to run a 10K Spartan race later this year. The more you increase the difficulty, the more your confidence grows because you keep beating these things over and over again. You can take on bigger challenges. And this is also what people respect in life. Nobody respects the guy who's sitting around in his comfort zone all the time and that guy accomplishes nothing. Habit number 9, learning. You've got to understand that YouTube is basically the modern day Library of Alexandria. In fact, I'd say Google is and YouTube is a subset of that. It's this hub where all the world's information is stored and you can access it at any time. Literally everything is on YouTube. You can look up anything and get a video explanation of that thing. Yet most people are too busy watching girls shake their asses or Mr. Beast blow up a Lamborghini. I've never understood this. I have fortunately had the habit of learning for a very long time. I have looked at YouTube as a tool for learning. I've bought books. I've understood that the more I learn, the further I can get in life because I can get the knowledge from other people so that I don't have to go through those mistakes. What happens for most people is they learn a little bit of entry-level information so they can get a job and then they never go back and continue learning. For me, it's always been like, what's the next thing I can learn? Sales skills, marketing skills, content creation, boxing, fitness, diet. It just keeps going. I'm like, how can I get better at different things? And every time you learn one of these things, you can improve your life. For example, I recently learned about blue light and how damaging it is to your circadian rhythm, how it can trigger dopamine release and make you kind of like a zombie. Like that's why when you're scrolling on your phone, it's emitting blue light and that's putting you in this trance-like state. And that's the effect that blue light has on your body. And so I'm getting a pair of these blue light blocker glasses because of this. This is something I learned that other people have not learned. And because of that, it's going to be an advantage for me. Other people aren't going to be able to sleep nearly as good. They're going to be distracted by their phone a lot more than me. I have this tool to get ahead. And then along with this, when you learn stuff, you have interesting things to talk about. Most people have nothing interesting to talk about. I can now just go spit out that story about the blue light blocker glasses when I want. I remember I was at my office and I was talking to somebody about different types of carbs. Certain carbs burn faster than others. For example, like sugar is a fast-burning carb, whereas brown rice burns a lot slower in your body. It's digested differently. And I was explaining the glycemic index and how if you eat different kinds of carbs, you get different results. And somebody was like, how do you know all this stuff? And I was like, I don't know. I just look it up. I learn stuff. Like, what are y'all doing in your free time? I don't get it, but This is a habit that is such a game changer, guys. Like, stop being one of these NPC kind of people who just watches mindless content all day. You've got such an amazing opportunity at your fingertips that every generation before you would have dreamed of having, which is access to unlimited information that can help you get ahead in life. And if you're not capitalizing on it, you really have nobody to blame but yourself if your life is not where you want it to be. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.